Hi friends. So just recently one of the members have asked me regarding some exercises for slap tear. So slap tear is injury that happens to the labrum of the glenoid cavity. So I just explain it briefly what exactly is happening to the shoulder in this. So this is your humerus, that is the long bone of the arm, and it goes into a socket which is formed by the flat bone which is in the upper back, right? We have two flat bones in the back which is called as scapula. And so the outline of the cavity on which this humeral head sits on is made of a cartilage which is called as glenoid labrum, and the tip of that labrum has attachment of the biceps tendon. So many people who do weightlifting and overhead activities with their weights using barbells or heavy dumbbells, they get this overuse injury for the labrum. Okay, the labrum slightly detaches itself from the bone to which it is actually attached, and that leads to a deep pain. And sometimes if the tear is a bucket handle tear, or it's like a very sharp tear, it goes within the joint and it causes clicks and certain restrictions in the range of motion. So usually we try to manage it conservatively without going into surgery. So conservative management includes definitely avoiding the activity that had caused the injury, okay, and working on the stability of the shoulder joint, because this labrum provides a kind of protection to the head of the humerus from moving, okay, uh, outside the joint. So it gives a more depth, gives more depth to the cavity. So when the labrum is torn, so the head of the humerus has more range through which it can move, especially when it goes beyond the 90-degree angle. So when the humeral head is still 90 degrees, it is within the cavity, but when it starts moving beyond 90 degrees, it has a tendency to go beyond that glenoid cavity. So that is what the labrum does, okay? It prevents the upward movement of the humeral head. So now we have to do this function by strengthening the muscles which are going to prevent the humeral head from sliding upwards and causing more injury to the labrum to where the tear has actually happened. So how to do that is first work on the stability of your scapula. So scapular stability will happen, okay, if you have strong rhomboids, and your serratus anterior is strong, and your latissimus dorsi. So these muscles, suppose this is the scapula, okay, so rhomboids is in this direction towards the spine. Then you have the latissimus dorsi, which is in the inferior part of your scapula, and serratus anterior is towards the rib cage. So all these muscles, when they are strong, the scapula will remain in its position and will give a strong base for your humeral head to move. Okay. Now, along with that, we need to stretch the pectoral muscles, which is actually causing the tipping of the scapula forwards. Okay, so we need to strengthen the weak muscles, we need to stretch the tight muscles, and we need to work on the stability of the shoulder joint by using proprioceptive exercises and strengthening your rotator cuff muscles. Okay, so these three things, if you are focusing on, you will be able to improve your condition to a certain extent. It will not repair that tear, because it is a thing that happens in the glenoid cavity is actually not well circulated, like it doesn't have a good blood circulation. Okay, so we need to work on improving the stability, improving your posture, and stretching the structures that are tight. One more thing that is tight is the inferior capsule. So the whole capsule of the shoulder joint Okay, inferior part has a tendency to become tight because mostly we are like this, right? So we need to stretch the posterior capsule and the inferior capsule by doing a good amount of stretches, especially post your workouts. If you're not taking care of your stretches, your cool down stretches, there is a tendency of developing this kind of injury, like you're just going on doing your strength training workouts and just doing slight amount of cool down stretches, like just casually, and just taking your protein shake and moving about with your work for the whole day. And then again, after a couple of days, you're again going with your overhead movements with weights. So that causes this kind of a injury. Okay, so now coming to the basic things that you can be working on. So first is your pendulum exercises. Okay, so the pendulum exercises is something in which you hold weight in your hands. Okay, I hope you're able to see, and keep your other hand stable on a table or a chair, and you have to move your body front and back and swing your arm. Let your arm swing, like you're not doing this actively, like moving your hand up and down like that. It has to just swing with your body movement, like your body, it has to move up front and back, and your arm will swing along with it. So you will feel a small slight traction in your shoulder. Okay, this slight traction in the shoulder is something that will bring the humeral head down, okay, away from the tear. And then you can do some rotation while moving your body the same way and allowing your arm to swing in the same direction. Similarly, the opposite direction. So you have to let your hand loose. You have to let it, relax and hang. And with the weight in your hand, like you can take any comfortable weight. It should not be like a too heavy one. Okay. The next is your stretches. Okay. Stretches will include the posterior capsular stretch, in which you are taking your arm across your body and pushing the elbow towards yourself, so the posterior capsule feels a stretch. Okay, and the inferior stretches, pulling it backwards and sideways, so that you feel a stretch in this part. Okay, so this will help stretch the capsule. So you have to hold the stretch for around 30 seconds to actually allow the soft tissues to have some kind of a effect. Okay, and repeat it at least 2 to 3 times. And same with the pectoral stretch. Pectoral stretch is like a corner stretch. You have to go to the corner of a room. I don't know if this part will be visible. So corner of the room, you have to stand, and your elbows have to go to the either sides of the wall. And then you have to move towards the corner. I don't know if I was audible. So you have to go to the corner of the wall. You have to keep your elbows on each of the wall. Your nose is pointing towards the corner, and then you have to move your body towards the corner. So you will get a good stretch for your pectorals. So this was for the stretches and relaxation or the traction to your joint. Okay, next step is stability. So the stability for the scapula and for the joint. So scapular stability, as I explained, you have to strengthen your serratus anterior, which causes the pushing action of the shoulder. Okay, shoulder complex, I can say, not the shoulder joint. The whole of the shoulder complex includes your scapula and your glenohumeral joint. This is the scapulohumeral joint. So the pushing action you can do, like you can either push on a wall, like I'm just demonstrating it to you. So if you have a wall in front of you, okay, so just pushing on the wall will actually give you a good isometric resistance. So this is causing an isometric contraction for that muscle. And the next is latissimus dorsi. Suppose you're sitting on a chair or on a flat surface, prop up using some bricks or something, and try to push yourself on that. So when you're pushing your body up with support of your hands, it works on your latissimus. So usually you do all those lat pull downs and all that. You are not supposed to do the overhead movements now. You have to work on certain exercises which is going to help you without causing any more strain on that tear. Okay, so the pushing and pushing your body up with support of your hands is going to work on that latissimus dorsi muscle. And then the rhomboids is very common, that is the rowing. So you can either use a TheraBand or whatever kinds of weights you have at home and work on the rowing. You have to do the rowing movement backwards. So you have to make sure that your arm is just beside your body. You should not be doing this way. There should not be any angle between your body and the arm. It should be close to your body and you have to pull it backwards. So this is working on your rhomboids. And the next one that will work on your shoulder stability. First is for the proprioception. This will be in a lying down position. I'm finding it a little difficult at present to demonstrate it in the lying position. So what you have to do after lying down is, you have to keep your arm perpendicular to the floor. Suppose this is the floor at the back. Okay, I'm lying down. You have to keep your arm, okay, at 90 degrees and then slightly move it in circular direction, holding this. It is basically controlling the movements. So the gravity will be pulling the weight towards it and you have to control it and move it slowly in different directions. So basically when you are lying down and you are trying to take it up and back, you will feel pain at certain point which will come and then it will go once you reach the top. So here, once you reach 90 degrees, try to take it away from your body. Try to rotate your arm slightly and then again continue and take it up and back. You will see that you don't feel any pain at a certain movement or certain angle or certain direction. Whatever direction is comfortable, you don't feel any pain, and come back to the 90 degrees. So this you have to discover yourself, and this is like something that is totally in control. You should not feel any pain. If you have severe pain, make sure that there is somebody nearby you who can just take away the weight from your hand. And this one is, all these exercises are very simple. They should not cause any kind of pain, any kind of discomfort to you, especially as you have been working out in the gym. All these exercises are like very simple and easy for you to perform. So there's no need for you to use really heavy weights or something. It's not about how much heavy you can lift. It's about the effectivity of the exercises, targeting the correct muscles, and how much you can do without any pain and discomfort. And the next is for the stability. You can start with the rotator cuff exercises, in which you have to do the external rotation. So with the TheraBand attached to one side to the wall or the grill of the house, you can just pull it towards external rotation. So this is something that is going to strengthen the rotators, which are prime stabilizer of your glenohumeral joint. So another way of doing it is holding it at this direction and just stepping away. So this is something that you can do without moving your shoulder joint. If you have too much of pain and you don't you really want to do any kind of movement on the shoulder, you can just hold it in a neutral position Okay, and step away from the point of attachment of the TheraBand. So you will feel some pressure coming up in your rotator cuff. So this is like another mild exercise that you can be doing. So thank you so much for asking me your question, and if there is any more doubt or any more queries in your mind, you can let me know. Thank you.